Movies. We all love them. Whether that be an epic sci-fi movie to a warm-hearted romance, we all have a movie at heart that maybe we watched as a child on a VHS, or we watched at the cinema with family and friends. For me, it was Return of the Jedi on VHS when I was about 4. We used to actually rewind through all the dialogue just to get to the action sequences. I don't do that anymore, I promise. I cannot tell you how many times I watched the Battle of Endor. I'm sure you all have a movie at heart that you absolutely love and will watch over and over again. Movies have always been there for our lives and have been the standard for entertainment for years. And as the world changes, so have movies. Now you've probably seen the title. I am making this video to share my opinion about what I don't like about modern movies. The opinions I'm going to share aren't all mine, so please don't butt-hear me. If you disagree, that's completely fine and I'm happy to hear your opinion. Oh, and also, I will be talking about TV series as well, as they have become more and more popular in the last couple of years, especially Disney Plus shows. Now, most of the films and TV series I've seen recently have just been meh to me, and I'm going to try and go through some reasons as to why myself and others feel this way. Now, one thing I don't like is the lack of original ideas. We have been seeing a lot of remakes and reboots of old stories and characters. Disney is a company well known for this. Disney have been making lots of reboots such as live-action remakes of old Disney films. I haven't really had an interest in them. The initial idea is cool and all. I remember The Lion King being a big deal when it came out, and that all the animals are computer generated, which is pretty interesting. But it gave the characters less emotion than the original film.
Long live the king.
Long live the king!
The sad thing is, the only reason these films are made is the initial cash grab. They know people will watch it because it's The Lion King. It's safe. But I don't know about you, but I'd much prefer to see an original story. Maybe explore a new concept that hasn't been explored yet. I've always been one for new things. This goes for Star Wars as well. They're always making series connected to the Skywalker saga. And so this is why I loved Andor so much. It was new. Yes, it was sort of connected to the Skywalker saga because of the Empire, but it was still new. We got to see new places, new people, concepts not explored yet. And I don't think it even references the Force or the Jedi once. So I really hope we start seeing new ideas and stories. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a great example of new ideas. It was a great film, and it was a brand new story, with new concepts and exploring the possibilities of the multiverse. It was a fun film, and I hope we see more things like it. Now, one thing I've noticed in newer films is the amount of CGI being used, and the lack of practical effects. Remember when stuntmen used to risk their lives for a shot? When actors and stuntmen would rehearse a fight scene over and over, and it all be in one continuous shot? You rarely see it in modern films. If you look at any old movie, you know that they are actually doing that stuff. It's real. And it makes it so much more thrilling to watch. It's the same with locations. There's a lot of green screen being used now, and no real locations. And it really takes you out the movie if it's noticeable. It's the same with the virtual sets being used in The Mandalorian, and some of the other series. It looks great, yes, but there's no life in the background, and the audience can just tell it isn't real. Take the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, for example. Some of the set pieces and backdrops are just really depressing when you compare it to Andor, which uses real sets and real locations. I remember when I first watched the two fights between Obi-Wan and Vader, and just thought they looked really dull. Just dark backgrounds and boring set pieces and nothing interesting going on in the background. Remember when Vader said in The New Hope,
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
the fight we always thought of was the Duel of Mustafar, which looks so much more interesting. Yes, it was also CGI, but it was so much more memorable. And now, the fight we will think of is this. CGI has its place. When used well, it works well. And it has been a great tool in filmmaking. and I doubt it will be going anywhere. I just hope we see more practical effects, like in Top Gun: Maverick, which was absolutely incredible because it was real. These people actually did this. They flew these jets through these canyons. Tom Cruise himself was in those jets, and it looks so good because of it. Now, another thing that I heard that I feel is true is quantity over quality. I'm going to use Marvel as an example. Marvel has had some amazing films. Endgame was amazing. Infinity War was amazing. You know, I really enjoyed every single Marvel film I watched. But ever since they started doing TV series, I feel they've suffered from this quantity over quality. It feels like every month there's a new series, and I just don't have any interest in watching them. Originally I did. I liked WandaVision, Hawkeye, and Moon Knight. They were okay. But other than that, I haven't had much of an interest recently. The problem with quantity over quality is that everything is on a tight schedule, and so it ends up feeling rushed and cheap. With Marvel, it is often the CGI that suffers because of this, which is crazy as Marvel has had some great CGI. Another interesting thing is Marvel has released more in the last 2 years than the previous decade, which is saying something. I do hope they turn things around soon, because I do like Marvel. Now, something I want to touch upon is nostalgia. It can play a big role in what we like, and because we grew up with films in our childhood, we come to love them more, because they are connected with happier memories. And this, in some way, can prevent us from loving modern films. And the same will happen, most likely, to younger generations watching films today. They will most likely come to love films made today, and have nostalgia for them. And so, it is an endless cycle. This won't be true for everyone, as not everyone watches films, but it certainly happens. I mean, the people who grew up with the original trilogy of Star Wars were not big fans of the prequels when they came out, but the generation that grew up with them came to love them, myself included. And I believe the same thing will happen to the sequel trilogy, and I genuinely believe so, because even now I'm starting to feel a bit nostalgic for some of them. And so, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just been me sharing my opinions on movies and what I don't like about newer films. Please don't think I have a bias or anything towards modern movies, because I don't. I do like them. I just wanted to share my opinion of what I don't like. Movies made today are great. Of course, there are a few, exceptions, but they're still great. Avatar: The Way of Water was one of my favourites that I watched last year, alongside Top Gun: Maverick, which just felt like a good old blockbuster. Bullet Train as well. I absolutely loved watching that film. And so, I hope you enjoyed the video, and enjoyed listening, and goodbye.